Hello and welcome back to my channel where I like to have fun with all things beauty while being critical about what I accept into my collection. Today is going to be a mix of a little bit of a life update, my experience using the Flip app, and then I'm going to transition into my AM and PM skincare routines. As always, there are timestamps in the description box, so if you just want to see the skincare stuff, I've tried to make that really easy. I really like to respect anybody's time. I appreciate anybody watching my content, so I do always try to include timestamps. Anyway, to start things off, I guess I wanted to quickly touch base with the fact that I know I'm not alone in feeling scattered right now. It's really difficult for me to stay consistent on here because I feel like my brain is being pulled in so many different directions and I'm struggling a little bit to find my rhythm. I mean, I don't think that's altogether a bad thing because if I was genuinely feeling like everything's great, I think there would be something really wrong with me. But I think some people compartmentalize that better, and a lot of people who do this regularly or for a living, they have a lot more of a consistent rhythm to fall back into. I'm new to this, so I don't really have any sort of consistent rhythm. Except for, I do mostly makeup and a little bit of skincare reviews, but I'm buying a lot less stuff right now and I don't know, it's genuinely, it's hard to focus. So I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but if you've noticed over there, I recently decided to try my hand at sketch comedy. That's not something I ever thought would be coming out of my mouth. But I've developed two characters to sort of poke fun at the wellness industry. I have a girl with dark hair that's supposed to represent the people taking advantage of people in the wellness space. And then I have another character with light blonde hair who actually believes this stuff and sort of makes herself sick for the view. That's just one of the ways that I'm trying to stay sane right now. I'm not an actress, so I think the 4 videos that I had planned are probably the only ones I'm ever going to do, and I'm probably going to abandon that after this. But I came up with the idea one night when I couldn't sleep, and whatever. We're all doing a variety of things right now to try to stay sane. Some of them are useful, like calling our representatives, and some of them are unhinged, like putting blue butter on my face. We all do what we got to do. At some point, I do, on a more serious note, want to sit down and make a video on YouTube about the clean beauty movement and how problematic it is and how I think that speaks to what we're going through as a society at large and put it into context. I have a lot of thoughts on the subject that are really not funny at all. But in the meantime, I'm making fun of some things just because I feel like if I don't laugh, I cry. So that's the story there. Another thing that I've tried recently is the Flip app. So after this, when I go into my AM and PM skincare routines, that's a direct result of videos that I made for the Flip app exclusively. The reason I did that was because over there, to get verified, you need to post a video a day. I'm not a short form content creator. I'm barely on TikTok, and I'll do swatch videos and make shorts on Instagram, and I'll do that. But like actual short form content with me talking, I don't do that because I talk too much. And I know that there's a lot that goes into like getting people hooked in the first 3 seconds and the props and the lighting and all the things. And I am just like really not good at any of that. And I know a lot of that is relevant on YouTube too, but I feel like there's a little bit more grace with long form content than there is with short form content. You really need to make your stuff interesting. And I just don't have a lot of interest in getting really good at that. However, Flip is primarily a shopping app. It's very confusing. It's been around for somewhere like between 2 and 3 years. So that gave me confidence that it's not a scam. It wouldn't be around that long with that many people using it if it was truly a scam. I originally heard it because Alice in the Rabbit Hole mentioned it, and actually I wish that I signed up when she first mentioned it a few months ago because I think my stuff would have done better. when she mentioned it more recently, and when I finally downloaded the app, it was already getting saturated. So it's a lot more difficult for creators to gain footing from everything I've heard than it was a few months ago, but that realistically is mostly a good thing because it means the platform's growing. Anyway, my experience with it so far is very mixed. When you first download it, it really pushes hard to get you to sync your contacts. I've never done that. I have a lot of apps on my phone, and a lot of them have full access to my microphone and my pictures and all kinds of stuff that I probably should reconsider, but I've always drawn the line at contacts. I have never given any app permission for that, at least not to my knowledge. So when Flip starts pushing that immediately, it sets off a lot of alarms for a lot of people, myself included. Immediately when I saw that, I was like, this is fishy. Do I really want to go forward with this? Because they let you opt out, I decided to go ahead and continue on and see what it was about before jumping ship that quickly. That, and I also heard other people who said that they agreed to let them sync the contacts, but after that, it wasn't like they immediately spammed your entire list. They let you select who you will and won't send. I don't know, I guess it's a join link, send a join link to. So you're not spamming people from work, you're not spamming exes or whoever else. Like me, I've never cleaned up my contacts list. So I have an awful lot of people on there that I would never want to communicate under any circumstances with. So according to these other people, even if you did allow that, it doesn't necessarily mean that they take full advantage. But because I don't fully understand what it does do, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not. Even if they offer money for that, for allowing that to happen, I'm not going to take it because it just creeps me out way too much. So aside from that, it was pretty seamless to make a profile and get started. I think the biggest downside right now is there's not a lot of instruction. So what I would say that Flip could do to improve that is if they just had a video, if they just had a short video where they explain. So you're not getting it secondhand from influencers who may or may not have your best interest in mind, from Flip themselves, explaining to you how to shop to maximize the benefits. I feel like they have a lot going on. I'm assuming that their competition is TikTok Shop. So you make videos, you tag the products, and then you get a commission. That is pretty straightforward. What's a little bit more confusing is when you make money watching other people's content, you unlock different discounts, and each purchase you are using different discounts, and then there's free items, and then there's on the house items, and honestly, it's very confusing, and the most help that I've found was watching other people whose channels are like only about explaining Flip, because it is so confusing. There's also two different kinds of videos. So there's flips and then there's clips. When you have to post one video a day, it can be either, I believe, and you get credit for a video for that day. Fine. What gets murky to me is the clips. It's like it could be anything. So what a lot of people are doing is they're just regurgitating their TikTok stuff, which I don't have a problem with. I've been doing that myself, but I just can't help but be like, so what is this? Is this a shopping app or is this a review app? And why do I see certain people on there that have no flips, that don't buy a single thing, but they're still posting their, political content or whatever their niche is on other platforms? They're joining Flip, but they're not doing any flips. So is that like the entertainment value that's going to keep people on the app? It just feels weird. It feels disjointed. Also, I should say, I have never bought anything from short form content. I have never purchased a single thing from TikTok Shop, not from Instagram, not from Facebook, back when that was a thing. I just don't buy things that way. I click on YouTube links. I prefer long-term reviews. I prefer getting my information from trusted sources, not just a random 3-second clip. So maybe because that's how I feel, I shouldn't waste my time making videos with products that I'm buying. But I think what makes me more likely to try this than any other short form content app is because they've sort of gamified it. They've sort of made it feel like a video game where you see your points go up in the corner every time you watch a video. You make a little more money. It's not real money, it's money towards discounts, but it's like, I don't know, it feels sort of like a game. So that's what's kept me on. I'm pretty convinced at this point because I don't see myself being great at this. I think what's kept me on there is the maybe you'll get a good deal and the sort of gamification of the whole thing. Because of that, I'm not giving up. I'm just not convinced that I'm getting the best deals, and I don't know if I ever will. Like my first purchase, I did. I got like 60% off. I just bought a bunch of random things. None of them were new. None of these items were new items to me. They were things, they were repurchases because I didn't want to take any chances. I didn't know how this shopping site worked. I didn't know if I could fully trust it. So I played it safe and I got things that I knew were good and that I could tell if they were real or fake. And, it took a long time, but they did show up and I reviewed them. And it wasn't, so I downloaded the app and I just let it sit on my phone for like 3 weeks until my items finally came, and then I reviewed everything. I didn't even know that that wasn't the smart thing to do. The first 30 days matter. And actually, before you make your first purchase, you should learn how the app works to maximize your discount. Because since then, and I don't know, maybe they were also having sales at that time, but since then, I have not seen deals anywhere near that good. And they have a lot of brands. So they'll have like even Louboutin, like the most high-end stuff, and drugstore and no-name like white label brands. They have a huge mix of things, but the prices are not, for a lot of the luxury stuff, they're really not better. And the only thing that would make them better is if you apply your earned discount and then the prices are better. But it's a lot of sort of mental gymnastics to figure out how to make that work. Another thing I noticed is some of the prices are inflated. Like, I think there was MAC lipsticks and maybe like a NARS blush, something that I came across that was, no joke, like 3 times the price that it normally is on any other site. So I feel like when they're allowing people to apply discounts, they're inflating some of the prices. And who knows, maybe they're not authorized retailers. It's confusing and there's a lot that goes into it. So I think if you really put the time in and you can figure it out, you can not only make money, but you can get a lot of great deals. I'm on the fence. Like, listen, I don't even do influencer because I don't know that platform. I don't know how it works, and I've never taken the time to look into it. So between that and never having made short form content, I think like I'm the last person that should be reviewing an app like this, but I'm just bringing it up, well, for 2 reasons. My first reason is in case you hear about it. If you hear about it and you want to know a little bit about at least one person's experience with it so far, that's my first reason. My second reason is just to explain why in my AM and PM skincare routines, I'm talking about Flip. I didn't want to just post that and not explain what Flip is. Another disclaimer I wanted to throw in there is these get ready with, the reason that I'm posting them here is because I think they're appropriate here. They're not appropriate on Flip. On Flip, nobody is watching a 10-minute video. And actually, I don't even know if I'm allowed to post videos with other products in them. Like 90% of my skincare routine was not purchased on Flip because frankly, the selection is still limited. And I have searched for a lot of those items, but I'm not finding them. So it's too limited for me to make a full skincare routine with just, for me anyway, with just Flip products. I'm hoping they continue to expand and I can buy more there. I would personally rather buy from Flip than someplace like Amazon. I would really love to have an alternative to that. So listen, the expansion might bring more products All that to say, these videos are not examples of good flip videos. These videos are very simply just my skincare routine right now, in case you're interested. I do have other videos where I talk about my AM and PM staples that are non-negotiable. However, because I like to test skincare, I'm often switching things out. So where my morning lineup, that is my like go-to when I run out of things, is one thing, and that's a set group of products that is very affordable and all of my most effective things. These AM and PM skincare routines are not full of all of my staples. They are full of some staples and some of the stuff that I'm trialing right now. So like a lot of this stuff I plan on doing long-term reviews for. Like in my PM routine, I have the Dr. Diamond's medicine, whatever, plasma. I am trying that right now. So when I finish it, I'll talk about it on YouTube. In the meantime, it just shows up in this because that's just the product I'm trying right now. These aren't like my staple skincare routines. This is just one of the only times that I'll be putting skincare on in camera, because with the setup I have, I can't be bringing this into the bathroom. Like, I would love to be able to move my camera all around the house, but that's just not realistic. So this is shot with my cell phone for flip. I wanted to throw in there also that by the time I get to my PM skincare routine, I have slightly more of an idea what I'm doing. So I do use a microphone. It's much easier to hear, and I think the quality is slightly better than the AM routine, but regardless, this is just kind of, it is what it is. It may or may not be interesting, but I am posting it just in case it is. And I will leave a link to my flip profile in the description box, but I am by no means suggesting that people start signing up. I am still like probably weeks away from knowing how I really feel about this app. If something changes, I'll absolutely talk about that in a future video. But for now, I'm just sort of trying things out, having a little bit of fun, and trying to stay sane during these extraordinarily insane times. So on to my AM and PM skincare routines. Since we have to film one video a day at least, I thought I might as well do my morning skincare routine. This is my very first time ever using a ring light, so bear with me. I hope the lighting's okay. I'm going to start by using an item that I bought on here and I already have a review for. So that's the Aven water. I just wash my face. So in the morning, I don't use soap. I just, I rinse off I put such an occlusive layer on at night. I absolutely have residue on my face, but I just use water to get rid of that. And then I go over everything with this so that my skin is damp. I don't want it to be super wet because I don't want to be diluting my skincare, but I do want it to be damp enough to just be more receptive. So Aven water, step one. Next up, I have my SK2. This is something that I don't use all the time. I'm using it right now because I had sort of a disaster happen to me in December. I went in for a CO2 laser. I have no experience with lasers or really many in-office procedures. I'm new to that whole world. So I didn't really know what to expect, but it didn't really go as planned. I have all kinds of new texture issues now. The one thing it did for me is it got rid of my hyperpigmentation on my forehead. That A+, that looks so much better. However, now I have new redness here that I never had. I have like a broken capillary over here, and I have some new texture here. Overall, did not go well. So I'm actually I had to wait 3 months, and I'm seeing a doctor about that in March. So when that happens, I'm gonna do a whole review of the whole experience on YouTube. Long story to say, I'm using the SK2 because I find it really helpful for hyperpigmentation. I would love to use it all year round, but I just don't have the budget for that. And I don't think it's necessary, but right now I felt like it was worth the splurge because I did a trial with it before my wedding and I saw an improvement. Unlike most over-the-counter dark spot treatments, the only thing that have really helped was hydroquinone. Outside of that, nothing has really helped any of my dark spot issues. I have acne, marks, and melasma. Nothing helped except SK2. So that's the long-winded way of saying that's why it's in my routine right now. But normally I just stick to hydrating things in the morning. I use my actives at night. So next up, I have my COSRX. I got this from Ulta for my birthday present. This is replacing right now. I normally use my Manio Bifida serum. Bifida is a nice ingredient to help with hydration and other skin repair issues. So I would be using that, but I ran out of it and I'm using this instead right now. I have bought 2 full bottles of this COSRX. I didn't feel like it did anything for me, really. It was a nice serum. It's enjoyable to use. It's the hyaluronic acid with amino acids, 6-peptide booster. It's nice. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just didn't feel like after using 2 full bottles that it really added anything. It didn't really do anything noticeable. Unlike the Manio Bifida, which I feel like really does help my sensitivity over time. It helps my skin just calm down a little bit. So I keep buying that. I don't keep buying this, but that's what I'm using right now. Next up, I have my CoQ10 Timeless and Matrixyl 3000. I really like CoQ10 as an antioxidant, and I like Matrixyl 3000. Have I noticed anything directly from that peptide? No, but it's a popular one, so I do like that it contains both things and it's affordable. I've enjoyed Timeless. Like I said, I have sensitive skin, so I can't just use everything. I do have to read ingredients. And Timeless is just simple. It's kind of like The Ordinary. It's just like it's not it's not overly complicated for no reason. After that, I'm going in with my Chemist Confessions Aquafix. This is just, I love it. I've loved everything I've ever tried from Chemist Confessions, but they're a really small brand. They're a little bit expensive. So this was the one thing that I kept going back for, even though I like the whole lineup. This has glycerin, sodium PCA, panthenol, allantoin, madecassoside or centella, and sodium hyaluronate. So really it's the panthenol and allantoin that I like so much about this because I have sensitive skin. So those are 2 ingredients that have worked well. I also feel like it's, a thicker serum. It's a little bit, everything else that I've used is on the thinner side. This is a little bit more substantial. So for dry skin girlies, you might really appreciate this. I don't know if people with oily skin would love this, but my dry skin drinks it up and I can't get enough hydration. The last serum that I'm going in with is this from Nimbuzzin. It's the NAD Bio Lifting Sil Essence. I don't really know. This just looked interesting to me. I appreciated the number of peptides. I forget the actual number, but it's a lot of peptides in here. That's what I'm using this for. Not the NAD. I don't love that that's the advertising ingredient here. I just think it's gimmicky. I think NAD overall is, people are over exaggerating what it can actually do internally, but now they're doing the same for externally. I just don't think the data is there to really support that it's really worthwhile in skincare. That being said, I don't think it's like detrimental. So it wasn't a deal breaker for me, but whatever. What I like is that it is so tenacious, but it sinks in. So it's similar in consistency to snail mucin, which I've used in the past, the COSRX snail mucin, the whole lineup. I've enjoyed that, but I felt like it just didn't go well with everything all the time. Like I wear makeup every day, so pilling matters, that kind of stuff matters. This just seems easygoing and it really feels like it locks in the hydration. So I'm using it for now. I don't think I'm about halfway through. I don't think I'm seeing noticeable benefits that are going to make me want to buy it again, but the peptides, I wanted to try it. I'm a skincare junkie, so I love trying things. The eye cream that I have right now is the Pharmacy Wake Up Honey. I love Honey Halo. Honey Halo is one of my absolute favorite moisturizers. I don't think there's anything about it that makes it totally worth the price point. So I buy it when it's on sale. And this time when I bought the Honey Halo on sale, it came with an eye cream. So I'm using it and I'm enjoying it. I have dry skin everywhere, so I do like to incorporate an eye cream. I don't tend to spend a ton of money because I don't think it's making a huge difference in that way, but I do like to have one on board because they tend to be nice and eye safe. So with my sensitivities, it's just, when it's convenient, I incorporate an eye cream. And finally, I'm going in with my Honey Halo moisturizer. I would say a cheaper alternative to this is the Bioma. If you have very dry skin. If you have oily skin, this is too thick. But the Bioma Barrier Plus Repair Treatment, I would go back to this in a heartbeat. I'm only using this right now because I got it as a gift and I actually pulled out way too much. So that's too much. Hold on. All right, because I put on way too much moisturizer, I'm gonna have to wait and let that sink in before I do sunscreen. But in 20 minutes or so, I'll go on top of all of this with my Bliss Sheer Tinted Daily Sunscreen. I'm using this today because even though it's only SPF 30, it's really nice for my sensitive skin. So on days when I know I'm not gonna be outside for the rest of the day, I do feel like this is enough. Otherwise, I would go with one of my K-Beauty sunscreens that has a higher SPF value. So I should have started this video by saying that I am 41. I have dry, somewhat sensitive skin. And yeah, I'll talk more about my skincare journey in another video, but that is my AM skincare routine right now. So because I already did an AM skincare routine on here, I figured I might as well do a PM one. I'm still very new to making videos on this platform. I'm not really sure what is and isn't wanted, but I do have some products to start out with that I did purchase on Flip. In my other Get Ready with Me, I wasn't able to tag those products, but regardless, I did buy them on the app. So if that's helpful at all, I will start with those products and then I will move more quickly through the other things. And, maybe I'll never do this again, but we need to do a video a day. So here is my nighttime skincare routine. I should start by saying that I just turned 41. I have very dry, mature, sensitive skin, so my products reflect that. I also had a procedure done, so I'm being extra gentle these days. So at some point, maybe if I think there's some kind of interest, I will talk more about what I've had done. I mean, it's really a laser. I haven't had a lot. I have no Botox right now. I had filler, but then I had it removed immediately. So I haven't had a lot done. But the things that I have done, I will absolutely share my experience with all of that if I see an interest for it. But in the meantime, we're just going to do skincare. I'm going to go ahead and wash my face off camera. Tonight I am using the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. I just got this a few weeks ago, but I've had it before. I really love this cleansing balm. The only thing that kind of sucks is that it's so small. I go through this really quickly, but if e.l.f. ever made a jumbo size, I really think it would be perfect. After my double cleanse, I go in with my Aven water. And real quick, something, I bought this on the Flip app, so I have a whole review dedicated to this. One thing that I wanted to mention is that if you like the idea of spraying your face with water from a can like this, they sell empty canisters like this that are refillable. So you can get a similar experience and you can just use your own water. So you don't need to buy it this way. The reason I do is because I find that this can last me a long time and I don't really have another water source that I want to do for this purpose, whatever. So I also try not to pay full price. I will say it is competitive. Like, I've tried the other waters on the market. There's a bunch. I like this one the best because for one reason or another, those other waters just didn't feel as soothing. Whatever. It's a personal preference thing. But I did want to mention that, like, you don't have to buy $20 water in a can to spritz your face. They definitely sell. There's alternatives to that. Then I pat that dry with a microfiber cloth. I tend to layer my serums thinnest to thickest. So next I'm going on with my Dr. Diamond's medicine plasma. I mean, the name is gimmicky. It's basically a bunch of peptides that are supposed to mimic like the vampire facial. If you've ever heard of that, the platelet rich plasma in-office treatment. He's a celebrity doctor who does that in office. I wasn't going to try this, except it was 50% off, so I grabbed it. I will be doing a review on YouTube and other places when I have more complete thoughts, but so far I like it. I like that, it's not irritating. The jury's out on if I think it's worth it, but that's the thing that I'm experimenting with. And then I'm going in with my CosRx 6-peptide booster. Normally, I would be replacing this with my Manyo Bifida serum. I really like that, but I've run out, and I'm going to wait till finish this until I buy another one because this works in a similar way. I definitely like the Manyo Bifida better, though. There's nothing wrong with this. I just don't know that it's actually doing anything. So, I don't know. Everybody's different, but that's probably not going to be a repurchase. Next up is one of my favorite serums from Timeless. This is the Matrixyl Sin 6. I like this because it's simple and it's hydrating, and I've been using it for a long time. Again, I don't know how much Matrixyl Sin 6 or 3000, the one I use in the morning, I don't know how much those are really doing for me, but at the very least, there's other ingredients in there that are hydrating, and it's just a nice, easygoing serum, so I keep buying it. Then I use my Chemist Confessions Aquafix. This is just a lovely serum. If you have dry skin, I've bought probably 10 of these at this point. I really, really like it. It's a very small brand, but their products are all good. That's the one that really stands out to me, though. My last serum is this from Nimbuzzin, and I don't know. This is another peptide-heavy serum. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but I like the consistency is very thick. It's very similar to snail mucin, but it might be a little more hydrating than that, actually. So I've really liked it. It's been very luxury experience so far, so no complaints. Whether or not it's worth it, to be determined. I'm not really loyal to any eye cream, but the one I'm using right now is the Mushroom Milk from Beekman 1802, and I really like this. It's hydrating, it's easygoing, it doesn't bother my sensitive eyes, so I'm really enjoying this right now. I'm also not loyal to any moisturizer, but the one I have on hand is this from Peach and Lily, the Rescue Party Barrier Comfort Cream. I like this. I think this is the second one I've had, and I did only pick it up because of a sale. That's how I am with moisturizer. I have a number of good ones, but my go-to, if I ever have to buy one and there are none of the more luxury ones on sale, I go back to Bioma because this is my holy grail in terms of the one that I've bought the most. But these other ones, when they go on sale, they're nice. They're certainly enjoyable to use, so I buy them when I see them. After that, I go in with my prescriptions for tretinoin and dark spots from Agency. It comes with a compilation of a few ingredients together, most notably being definitely tretinoin. I'm on the highest percent, so 0.14, which is quite high, but it has hands down been the biggest game changer. If I had to give up everything, I mean, SPF is number one. But number two would definitely be tretinoin because nothing has helped more for both anti-aging purposes and cystic acne. Finally, my very last step is the Aven Zeracom Balm. I put quite a thick layer on my face. I've tried slugging with Vaseline and other things, and the texture just grosses me out. It's my hair. I sleep with a dog, so hair sticks to my face. It's just kind of a sensory nightmare. So I found that I can basically achieve the same thing with this, and it's just not quite as sticky. See, I was not kidding. However, in about 20 minutes, this will all be clear, so I will not look like this for very long. My actual final step is a pimple patch. I need at least one on my chin, and I think that's it. If you really like skincare and you like to hear long-term reviews, this month I am reviewing the Medicine, but I don't think I'm probably not going to buy a second one. So my next trial is going to be the Regeron serum, which is PDRN. So this is derived from salmon PDRN. So it's the same brand that makes the injections. So long story, I also dabbled with that. So whatever. I was convinced that this would be a decent brand to try of this. But, we'll see when I get around to testing that. But that's it. I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope that was somewhat enjoyable. I'm hoping that my Odin's Eye palette arrives in the mail relatively soon. I'll definitely be doing a review of that. I also have an empties video and a few other things in the works, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day or night wherever you are. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.